like a big common mix. They're like, yeah, when they're the right height, you know. So.
Right, call halal like Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Qadash. I am double honor to the elders at Green Millstone, SHALAWAM, to the elect of the nation of Israel.
Kidnap a bunch of people.
You're an Edomite.
Both sides.
What are you? What's your biblical nationality? What's your biblical nationality? You said kidnap. What do you mean? Are you looking at this?
Okay.
That's what you're looking at. Okay.
People came into Israel.
Okay.
And they kidnapped a bunch of teenagers
yes?
at Iraq.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is that right?
No.
Okay, so what happened to the blacks? How did the blacks get to America?
Oh,
How did they know? Yes, I can.
I can't
Yes, I can.
control what happened.
Oh, you
hundreds of
can't?
years
So what
ago.
are you? How did they come over here to America?
My family lived
How did the
here.
blacks come here to America? That's the question. Don't make this complicated.
Well, that wasn't right either.
But how did they get here? Who did?
They were kidnapped.
Who? By who?
A bunch of white people.
Okay. Well,
Not
let
me.
me ask you this. Are you?
I wasn't
Hold
alive
on.
then.
Let me ask you this. What are you? What are you?
I'm Jewish American.
Okay, I figured you were Jewish American, something like that. Okay, do you know that the Jewish people funded this?
Oh, they did not.
Oh,
Some
no?
people.
Oh,
Some
they
people.
did not? Your
No.
own record states
No.
so.
Nobody.
Your own
works-
record states so.
Okay, let me tell you something.
So you know what
Nobody-
happens? You
Let
gotta
me
go into
finish
slavery.
a sentence.
You're an Edomite. Go ahead, finish.
Let me finish a sentence. It isn't like one group is everybody.
This Exodus chapter 21 and verse 16. God judged by nation. Your people have
That
to
is
pay.
such bullshit.
Oh yeah? Okay. This Exodus
Bullshit.
chapter 21 and verse 16. You gotta go into
Bible.
slavery.
When was that
Do you
written?
believe in the Bible?
No.
Oh, you're Jewish? Wait. You, whoa, let's
I'm
stop
not
right
the least bit
You call
religious.
yourself Jewish, but you don't believe in the Bible.
No, I think it's a bunch of shit.
You think it's a bunch of
religion
shit?
is a bunch of
Well,
shit.
guess what? This is more than religion.
Religion is a bunch
This is
of
law,
shit.
statutes, commandments. God
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
give us
God
religion.
came down.
He gave us law. He
I
didn't
know.
come down.
I'm waiting
No,
for him to
he
come
gave it to
down.
Moses.
It's
Okay?
nonsense.
He gave us law, statutes, and
It's
commandments.
myth.
Because I know what you mean by the way he came down, not the way you think.
Myth.
You're a
It's
myth.
myth.
You're a myth. You don't believe in the Bible.
No.
Well, you're going into slavery anyway, so it doesn't matter if you did or not. You're an Edomite. But this is Exodus chapter 21, verse 16. Now we're going to find out. Now we're going to find out. Hey, you got something to say about it, come up here and challenge me. If you got something to say, come up here. I'll give you the floor. I'll give you the floor. Let's go. Damn coward. All you people are a bunch of cowards. Well, anyway, this is Exodus 21 and 16. Right? Exodus 21 and 16. We're going to find out how the blacks got here to America. Not only them, but Puerto Ricans or Taino Indians were shipped by Christopher Columbus after his first voyage to Spain. A lot of you Puerto Ricans got to Spain because Christopher Columbus put you on those slave ships or them ships and brought you to Spain against your own will. That was not right. Right? So you got to pay for it. She says she's Jewish, but she doesn't believe in the Bible and it's Smith. She doesn't believe that God gave Moses the commandments. Okay? That God gave Moses laws, rules to follow, to give to the Israelites. She don't believe that. See, the way she's thinking, the Most High came down was his physical, some old fairy tale. All right? That's what she's thinking. Right? But it says, Exodus 21 and 16, and it says, and he that stealeth a man. So weren't the blacks kidnapped? Another word for steal is kidnapped. That's how the blacks got to America. They were kidnapped. Do you agree with that? All you people complain about what's happening over there, Americans being kidnapped. We don't care about Americans. We don't care about Americans. We don't care what happens to you. We don't care about Arabs. We don't care about Ishmael. We don't care about the Edomites. What happened to us is what the Lord is focused on. Okay, the Lord doesn't care what you people do to yourselves. You've been doing it for the longest. The Lord said, if you touch the apple of his eye, you got a fucking problem. And you got to pay. And I guarantee if I ask that damn stinking ass old heifer what the word Jewish means, she has no response. I can guarantee you that. I can ask a black man, what's his nationality? He says black. That's what you get. That's the response you get. I ask a so-called Puerto Rican, what's the nationality? He'll say Puerto Rican or Boricua. He's people just don't got. I ask a so-called American, what's your nationality? He'll tell me white or American. Those are not biblical nationalities. Right? In the Bible, there's biblical nationalities. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. What's your nationality? I want to know. Okay, the white man goes back to the Edomites, so that'll be his biblical nationality. So-called black man will go back to Judah. That'll be his biblical nationality. All right, but it says, Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, which were still found in the hand of our oppressors, he shall surely be put to death. Okay, you were kidnapped off the west coast of Africa and also in the jungles in the interiors of Africa, put on slave ships and brought to the Americas. That's how you got here. You were kidnapped against your will, meaning they snatched you up. Men, women, and children. This Revelation 13:9 and 10. How the hell do you call yourself Jewish but don't believe in the Bible? Why? I'll tell you why. Because this is not your book. God even tells you Edomites, you got nothing to do with his book. This is not your book. And a white man did not write the Bible. Okay? White man did not write the Bible. How the hell are you going to write a book that condemns him? Revelation 13:9 and 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Right? He that leadeth into captivity. What's another word for captivity? Slavery, right? Shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Right? Now look what the Spaniards did to the Taino women. They used a bayonet. Okay, they used a bayonet and ripped open a pregnant woman's stomach. That happened. How would you feel if somebody did that to a pregnant woman? You wouldn't like it, right? You wouldn't like it, right? Another way to attack the womb, now it ain't by a bayonet, it's by what? Abortion, birth control pill, shit like that. But it says, he that leadeth, verse 10, Revelation 13 and 10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And the saints are the Israelites. Saint means holy or separate or set apart. This hasn't happened yet. How the hell you call yourself? Let me ask you, are you an Israelite? Are you an Israelite? He's not going to tell you nothing. Fake ass Jew. Fucking. All right, but anyway, let me get into the lesson. I'm going to start with Romans chapter 1. All right? So, not only you Edomites, but all of you other nations that had your hand in slavery all have to pay. You all have to pay. No one is excluded. What comes around goes around. Isn't that the saying in the world, what comes around goes around? Well, I'm going to put your ass in slavery. How's that going to feel? We're going to find out. Hey, man, look, man, and I will say this too, you got a lot of chocolate-covered crackers. Look at Emmitt Smith. His grandfathers are all crackers. He going into slavery, motherfucker. Right? You got a lot of chocolate-covered crackers. W.B. Du Bois, Edomite. You got a lot of people, not Marcus Garvey, he a Jake. What's that other devil's name? Frederick Douglass. His father was a slave owner, an Edomite. He going into slavery. Nigga talking about because I'm dark skin. I don't give a f if you got nappy hair, motherfucker. You still an Edomite. All right? This is all about bloodline. It's not about how you look. Even though we do say our Lord Yahawashi is a black man, but he's an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. You got a lot of chocolate-covered crackers. Anyway, now Romans, I'm going to start in Romans 1. And we're going to find out who these Romans were. Were they Israelites or were they of another nation? And well, Lord willing, we'll try to cover a few chapters in Romans. If I don't get to it, Lord willing, I'll get back to it some other time. But if the Spirit permits. This is Romans chapter 1. And we're going to break this down little by little. We're going to go into key words. We're going to go into the word Gentile. We're going to go into multiple words. So let's get it. Romans 1:1. Paul, a servant of Yahawashi, which Yahawashi, once again, is a so-called black man for the tribe of Judah. Okay? He wasn't a so-called white man. Okay? He wasn't this Renaissance depiction that you see here. He didn't look like this Renaissance depiction or artwork. It says, Paul, a servant of Yahawashi, Hamashiach, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of God. Now, what does gospel mean? Gospel means good news. Now, we're going to find out who the good news was given to. Okay? First, let's start with Luke chapter 4. Let's start at verse. Luke chapter 4. And verse 17. And there was delivered unto him, delivered unto who? Yahawashi. Delivered unto Yahawashi the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found a place where it was written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Right? Meaning the Spirit of the Lord is upon Yahawashi. Now this is written in red. Okay, these are Yahawashi's words, right? The Spirit of the Lord was upon me, and he read out of the book of Isaiah. Because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. Who are the poor? Who are the downtrodden? Who are the afflicted? You blacks, you Latinos, you so-called blacks, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans, so-called Cubans, so-called Panamanians, so-called Argentinians, so-called Jamaicans. You are the Israelites. You're the poor. You're in the barrios. You're in the ghetto. You're in the ghetto. You're on drugs. You have what? Domestic violence. Right? Gang violence. You fill up the prison system. Okay? What Elamite or East Indian fills up the prison system? Right? Even if you're in India, it doesn't really matter, but look at the percentage. If you come over here to America, everybody, the people that fill the prison system up are blacks and Latinos and Native Americans. Right? Lord don't care about you Elamites, but can you imagine America's prison population filled with Elamites and East Indians? Or Chinese, come on. Or Africans. But it says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted. And you Jakes are brokenhearted. Right? You need salvation. You have to be saved from your enemies. A lot of you Jakes don't even know what salvation means. What that entails. What does salvation mean and who's it for? Who is it for? You don't even know that. You have to be saved from something. Saved from your enemies. Right? He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind. Right? Jake is spiritually blind. They don't have any idea what the hell is going on. All right? They got a zeal, but not according to knowledge. They know a little something, but they really don't know shit. All right? Yeah, what's up? No, I want to talk about stuff like that. Yeah. Wait. Hey, what's up? Come up here. Come up here. I want to talk something like that. What's your nationality? What's your biblical nationality? Say that over here. Black.
Wait, keep moving.
Keep going.
No, African.
Keep going.
African.
One.
Puerto Rican.
Two.
I'm not done. Nicaraguan.
Okay, three.
Peruvian.
Four. You're helping me.
Wait.
Tahino, go. Five. Four. Ecuadorian. Okay. According to the Bible, you're an Israelite. I'm going to let you know, brother. Okay? You're not Puerto Rican. You know what Puerto Rico means? You know, I'm asking a question. Puerto Rico means rich port. When it was colonized by the Spaniards, they took over the island and called it Puerto Rico.
makes
You're not
sense.
Puerto Rican.
That makes
You're an
sense.
Israelite from the tribe of Ephraim. Okay? Do you know how you got there? Do you know how you got there? See, we can't discuss in there. We can't talk. We can't build in there. You're an Israelite. We can't build. And you got to take initiative to look these things up. Okay? Take initiative to look these things up. You just gave me like 7 proverbs and bywords. See, they don't know nothing. Our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You got a question, sir?
No, I don't have a fucking question.
You don't? Who are these people? Who are these pieces of shit? Who are these pieces of shit here? Who are these pieces of shit? They're devils. You belong in a mental institution. That's why you got Pink City, Tel Aviv, and Israel. Those f***ers belong in the institution. That's right, motherfucker. That's right.
Huh?
See? These devils are hurt, man. These fake Jews are hurt, man. Look what they're doing to the land of Israel. Look at those dirty Arabs and those Palestinians are doing in that land, which is the same land. They're destroying the land. They're desecrating the land. Same thing Antiochus before that Greek devil did around 3-something BC. They desecrated the land. So anyway, Luke chapter 4 and verse 18, it says the priest delivers to the captives. Now who's captive? When Yahawashi spoke these words, the Israelites were in the Roman Empire. We were slaves to the Roman Empire, or the Edomites. Those are the Romans. They were Edomites. Roman ain't even a biblical nationality. The word Rome just came from Romalis. That's how that name was created. Okay, there were Edomites like this heifer right here, walking by. She can't even walk right. This is supposed to be her kingdom. This is supposed to be their kingdom, and look at how they live. Okay, so Yahawashi quoted the book of Isaiah, right? Now let's go to Isaiah. Right, because these are things that you got to look into before you even get to Romans 11. Yeah, I could jump there and break it down, but these are things that you first have to look into, right? Because you had Israelites in Rome. Paul went to Rome because you had a plethora of Israelites in Italy, Rome. Don't cut me off, okay? You had Israelites in Rome. Israelites are scattered. Okay, now, what's your question?
How many times has Israel, have the Palestinian people been offered
No,
their own state?
okay. Hold on. You just
They've been-
made a stupid comment. First of all, who are the Palestinians? Who are they? Do you even know what you're talking about, woman? Boys, can somebody, oh my God, bro. Can somebody please tell me where the Palestinians are? You get tired of this stuff, man. This is a damn joke, man. All right, so no one knows what who the original inhabitants of Palestine were. Nobody knows who the people living in the land of Palestine are today. This is a joke. And the people that live in Israel are not Israelites. They're Amalekites or converts. All right, anyway. So let's go to the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 61. This Isaiah. Now, Yahawashi quoted the book of Isaiah. Okay? So we're going to find out who the gospel is for. Let's go further into it. Verse 1, the Spirit of the Lord, God is upon me, all right? Because the Lord Yahawah hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty. Liberty, what is liberty? Freedom. Right? Because we're not saved. Nobody's saved. The Israelites are not saved. Living in a ghetto is not salvation. Smoking a blunt is not salvation. Going to the movie theater with your girl is not salvation. Owning $1 million, $2 million vehicle is not salvation. Living in a mansion is not salvation. Receiving the kingdom, enslaved and concubines, that's salvation. Receiving riches is salvation. When we put these Edomites in chains, then you're saved. Because we're going to rule the entire earth. The way it was what? Set up from the beginning. Right? He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted. This dude said, a dude that walked by said, he's 𝐉𝐄𝐄𝐅𝐄. I'm not going to look all these things up, but I know what Puerto Rico means. He said he's Puerto Rican. He's, what else he said? Some other, like 4 other ones. I'm like, what? Like, Jake is bugged. Jake is gone, man. Jake is completely through. Right? So it says this. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. And a lot of you Jakes are spiritually in prison. Okay, you got chains on your mind, on your brain. You don't know who you are. It's a damn shame. It's 2023. You ask a Jake, what's your biblical nationality? Or who are you? You're black. This guy was scared to come up here. This northern and southern kingdom Jake, I told him to come up. Right? He was scared. I knew he was scared, but I told him, let's go. Come up here. Then he decided to come up. But he didn't want to come up. He just wanted to say what the hell he had to say and flee. The wicked flee. The scripture said that the wicked flee when no man pursued. He had to go up the block. So anyway, it says, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance of our God, and to comfort all that mourn. Oh, my bad. I ain't even finished reading them. Hello? Oh, no, it don't even got that. Okay, but I was correct. But in Isaiah 63 and 61 and 3, it says, to appoint unto them, meaning to the Israelites, right, that mourn in Zion. Right, mourn in Zion. What's another word for Zion? To Zion. Okay? Which can mean a monument. Zion is another name for Israel, or the Israelites. Okay? So there you go. That's who the gospel is for Zion. To give unto them beauty for ashes. Because when you wear ashes, what are you doing? You're mourning. Right? And the beauty is ultimately the kingdom. And it says, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. So there you go. All right, now let's go back to Romans. Chapter 1 and 1. Let's begin again. Paul, a servant of Yahawashi and Mashiach, called to be an apostle, and another word for good news is good tidings, or glad tidings, or gospel. Another word for gospel is glad tidings and good news, or good tidings, glad tidings, gospel, good news. They're all interchangeable. Called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of God. So Paul went to Israelites in Rome. Now, let's jump down to let's type in Italy or Rome. And we're going to find out why Paul went to them. Let's start with, let's go to Acts 10. Acts 2. I'll start at verse 5. Acts 2 and 5. And there we're dwelling at Jerusalem, okay? And there we're dwelling at Jerusalem, Jews. When you think of Jews, you think of, well, these pieces of shit like Netanyahu, that fucking piece of shit. And fuck this damn devil too. Fuck this devil. But it says, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem, Jews. Back 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years, it was all black men, women, and children in Jerusalem. And it wasn't even called Jerusalem. Okay, the correct way to say it is Jerusalem, which means a city of peace. Or Yahawah. We never called ourselves Israelites. We called ourselves Yahawah, which means the prince of the power. He, prince of the power. Israelite is a Greek word. You can look that up yourself. Don't be lazy. Look it up yourself. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven, right? Because the Israelites were scattered. We came out of every nation. We came what? To go up to the holy day, right? To keep the holy day at this time. Right? So the Israelites knew that they had to go up and keep the holy day because that's written back in the law in Deuteronomy 16 and verse 16. Right? So let's jump down to verse 9. Parthians and Medes and Elamites and the dwellers in Mesopotamia. So Jacob was everywhere. And in Judea and in Cappadocia, which is Asia Minor, and Pontus and Asia, which is Asia Minor. Phrygia and Pamphylia in Egypt, and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, which Libya is North Africa. Just like Morocco. What's your biblical nationality? Probably an Ishmaelite. So these people are hurt, man. These people are spiritually condemned. They're hurt. Walking by us like you're not going to pay for what you did to us. Like giving me an evil stare down is going to scare the hell out of me. Like I'm going to pack up and leave. No, the scripture say that the righteous are bold as a lion. I'm not like, no disrespect to the brothers in WFI Sakari or even brothers in Great Millstone and none of them brothers, but I don't need a plethora. I don't need 100 men out here on no microphone. I don't need a microphone. I'll probably break the fucking microphone. The water out by 𝐤𝐄𝐅𝐄. Right? There's nothing wrong with using a microphone. Me personally, I don't prefer using a microphone. But it says here, right? For again, Pamphylia, verse 10, in Egypt and in the parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome. So in verse 5 it says there were Jews that came from all of these different areas, right? So they came from Cyrene, Phrygia, Egypt, Rome, Jews and proselytes. Okay? Greeks and Arabians. Right now, Arabia is not a biblical nationality. Arab or Arab, it simply means mixed. That's all it means. So, okay, so it says, we do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of God. Okay, so you had Israelites in Rome, and in one way, Israelites got to Rome. Not saying we were not already there. Let's go to Acts 18. So you got to build a base here. You can't just jump to Romans 11 and talk about the wild olive branches. Okay? You got to know the history behind these things. How we got into Greece, how we got into Italy, how we got into all these different areas in the world. Because the Israelites were scattered. Just like I mentioned earlier, how did the blacks get to America? They were taken on slave ships. By your enemies, by the Edomites, by the Arabs, by the Portuguese, by the Spaniards, and the Jewish elites funded the slave trade. They tell you that themselves. This Acts 18:1, it says, after these things, Paul departed from Athens, which Athens is in Greece, right? And came to Corinth, which is also in Greece, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy. So she was born in Pontus, but she came from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded. Claudius Caesar was an Edomite. Had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them. Right? She lately came from Italy, right? And he commanded Jews to depart from Rome. But you had Jews in Rome, right? Here's another one. That's the point. You had Israelites all over, right? Here's another one. Let's type in Italy, Hebrews. I believe it's in Hebrews. This is Hebrews 13 and 25. Grace be with you all, amen, or amen. Ran to the Hebrews, written to the Hebrews. What Hebrews? Hebrew Israelites. So the Bible calls us Israelites, Hebrews. Written to the Hebrews from Italy by Timothy. Written to the Hebrews from Italy by Timothy. Where's Italy at? Where's Italy at? Right? It's off the Mediterranean. That's where Italy's at. Now, let's jump down to Romans. Let's go back to Romans. You gotta take the meat from the bone. You gotta take all the meat off the bones, man. Romans 1 and verse. Oh man, verse 6. Let me start at verse. Let me bring something out on verse 6. Among whom are ye all also the called of Yahawashi and Mashiach. To all, I'll break it down in verse 7 because it says it again. To all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be saints. Now, anytime you read that word saint, you can only apply it to the Israelites. You cannot apply the word saints to no other people. The saints are Israelites. Psalm 148. What's that? Here's another one. Let's get it. Let's let this shit go by. Right. Psalm 50 and verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me. The Lord is using this as a possessive pronoun. He says, gather my saints together unto me. Those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Who made a covenant with the Lord by sacrifice? We can get into that also. Exodus 24. Right? So the saints are Israelites. One more. This Psalm 148 and verse 14. He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints. All his people, which are Israelites, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, or the sons of Israel, a people near unto him, praise the Lord. Praise to the Lord. So the Israelites are the saints. This is Romans 1 and verse 7. To all that be in Rome, beloved of God, called to be saints. Called to be saints. Now the word called, you also have to go into it and break it down. Okay? Called to be saints. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Yahawashi and Mashiach.
You feel better when you like something.
Right? Now let's type in called. Let's go to Isaiah 45. Isaiah 45 and verse 4, then I'm going to jump down to verse 12. For Jacob is the father of the blacks, the Latinos, and Native Americans. That's who Jacob is. And Jacob, by the way, was a black man. Right? See, one thing that, you know what Christians are really, what Christians are doing now? Now because they see the Israelites stand out here and we go into different words and meanings and definitions and history and tell you that salvation is only for the Israelites, now they decided to go look into words. Now they want to come up and challenge us. Like, this is what this means. Now they're going into the blue letter. Oh, let me go into the blue letter. I'm going to look this up. That way I might could confront one of those Israelites out there on the street corner and I'll question them. Hey, look, man, you can't do, the scriptures say that the Lord gave us a mouth that our enemies cannot resist against. So even if you come up here, it doesn't do you any good. If you're an Edomite, you're going into slavery. If you're Jewish, you're going into slavery. All these people going into slavery. These Jewish people are evil. Okay? Who do you think runs the porn industry? Jewish people run the porn industry, just like they run the music industry, just like they run the NBA, or the NBA draft, or football. Kyrie Irving, he found out real quick. Right? Kyrie Irving doesn't got balls like we got. Kyrie Irving don't got the balls to come out here. So all that money you got, Kyrie, that shit ain't doing you no damn good. We're going to tell our enemies to their face who the hell they are and what's going to happen to them. See, Amari Stoudemire doesn't got the balls like the Israelites to come out here. Isaiah 45 and 4. He's scared to speak against his enemy. You have the spirit of a coward. You're timid. God didn't give us the spirit of fear. Like I said, I don't need a big-ass army behind me. Like you see most Israelites. You go down that street, you'll probably see 20 of them. I'm by my fucking stuff. Motherfuckers, man. Tell them why you mad, son. Tell them why you mad, son. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect. I have even called thee by thy name. Right? Because Jacob's name was changed to what? Israel, right? I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. Isaiah 48 and 12. Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel. Which Jacob and Israel are interchangeable, right? Of course. My call. I am he. I am the first. I also am the last. So Israel is called. So when you look up that word called, the only ones that are called are the Israelites. Hosea 11 and 1. When Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt. We're Israelites. We're not Israelis. Fucking Israelis. Fuck them pieces of shit. Fucking murderers. Fuck them damn Arabs too. They're all a bunch of damn murderers. Like we care about a fucking... Stop on these motherfuck these niggas, man. Fucking Edomite devils and Arabs. Right? And call my son out of Egypt. What happened in Israel, right? We went down to Israel. In Egypt. We went down into Egypt and we multiplied. Right? The sons were already born before we went down into Egypt. Well, Ephraim and Manasseh were born in Egypt. Okay? They were born in Egypt. But that was it on that. All right, this Romans. Let's go to Romans chapter 8. Romans chapter 8. It says this. I'll start at verse 3. For what the law could not do, and that it was weak. Oh, let me get this. Hold on. Romans chapter 8 and verse 20. All right, not yet. Romans chapter 8 and verse 3. It says, for what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned the sin in the flesh. Now, who do Yahawashi die for according to the Bible? Who do Yahawashi die for? Who do you call Jesus Christ died for according to the Bible? Was it everybody? Say so, I want you to prove or provide me with that scripture because I have not found it. Because because it doesn't exist in the Bible. Right? So for what the law cannot do. So obviously, Paul is talking to Israelites. He's telling what the law cannot do. That's why Yahawashi had to come in. Not saying that the law is done away with, but Yahawashi had to come in the flesh. All right? And be that sin offering. Because according to the Bible, which I'm not going to get deep, there wasn't only sin offerings. There was other offerings that the priest offered. All right? But Yahawashi offered up an ultimate sacrifice. He comes in the volume of the book. Right? And he only died for Israelites, right? Condemned sin in the flesh. Right? His own son in the likeness of sinful flesh. Right? And that's talking about what? His own people. Right? He was among his own people. Hold on, let me see if I can, he's giving me problems over here. Let's go to Matthew 1. This is Matthew 1 and 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahawashi. Here it says Jesus, but there's no J's in Hebrew. But there's no E's used in Hebrew or J's in Hebrew, right? For he let me let this upload right now.
Okay. Yeah. Great, thanks.
It says, for he shall save his people from their sins. All right, now what's sin according to the Bible? Hey, what's sin according to the Bible? Sin is the transgression of God's law. Let's jump to John 1 and 1 John 3 and 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So if you break the dietary laws, if you ain't eating right, and if you're eating things that don't belong in your body, such as pork, crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops, right, you're breaking the law. That's a small law, but guess what? That's a law to be kept. These laws are to be kept. Right? And a lot of you blacks, what? You love that seafood. Okay? Here it is, you can eat salmon, snapper, porgy, but you rather eat catfish, shrimp, and lobster. You got all this food to eat, but you rather eat the roast of the scavenger of the sea. You rather eat rabbits, duck. These are what the nations eat. This shit does not belong in your body. That's why the Lord gave us laws. He gave us laws for us to keep. Right? So sin is the transgression of God's law. So if you break the law, you're committing sin. Or if you commit sin, you're breaking the law. Okay? Verse 5, and he know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. Right? And also, like I mentioned earlier, the law was given to the Israelites. Right? Let me go to an oldie but goodie. Let's go to Psalm, which never gets old. Psalm 147, verse 19 and 20. It says, he showed his word unto Jacob. See, the Lord showed his word unto Jacob. Not an African, not a Hamite, not an Egyptian, not a white man, not a Spaniard, not a Jewish man, but he showed it to the Israelites. He didn't show it to the Polynesians, to the Samoans, to the Chinese, to the Arabs, to the Ishmaelites, to the Japhites. But he showed it to you blacks, you Latinos, and Native Americans. That's who the laws were given to. He showed this word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. His word could also represent his law, his words. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they, meaning the other nations, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. Right? This is Deuteronomy. We're just going to jump around. Deuteronomy 1:1. Let's jump to it. This is Deuteronomy 1:1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan, in the wilderness. Who is in the wilderness? Can any Christian break this down? Who is in the wilderness? Was it everybody? Were all nations in the wilderness with us? Yeah, you had a mixed multitude. But the Lord wasn't dealing with them, because he had put them to death. So who is the Lord dealing with? He's dealing with the Israelites. It says, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between, you got a question? You're speaking among yourselves. You might got a question. I want to know if you got a question. Let me ask you this. Are you Palestinian?
There is.
What are you?
I'm Russian, he's Ukrainian.
You're Russian?
He's Ukrainian.
I can't hear you. You said what?
He's Ukraine.
Oh, Ukraine and you're Russian. All right. You know who the Russians and Ukrainians go back to? Who they go back to? What people they go back to? They're all in the same. Pretty much Ukraine and Russia like this. Hey.
Norway. From Norway? From Norway?
You were born here, right? You were born here? You were born in Norway? So Ukraine, what? Norway? Now you're saying Norway.
I'm saying I'm from Russia, Ukrainian. You're asking.
Well, the people that live in that land, the majority of the people that live in that land go back to a man named Esau, or the Edomites, which is the Caucasian race. You ever heard the term, you're laughing, but you're not paying attention. You ever heard the term Caucasian? You ever heard the term Caucasian? You know where that term developed? It came around the Black Sea. Listen what I'm telling you. No, I'm asking you, but you're telling me I know what you're talking about. Okay, respond to me. I'm asking you respectfully. I'm out of respect. Well, Caucasian means cave dwellers. That's what Caucasian means. The people of Russia and Ukraine are Edomites. But among those people, you have my people up there, Israelites. Because the Israelites were scattered. You ever heard of the Scythians? The Scythian people? They were also in Russia. You ever heard of the Dark Ages? Let me show you something. Don't go nowhere. Let me show you something. You might be in a rush, although you did come back. Let me show you something. You see this right here? These are what? White faces, right? You know, in Russia to this day, in some of those churches in Russia, they depict black men in the church. You know that? You know why? Because black people were in Russia during the Dark Ages, what they call the Dark Ages, or scholars call the Dark Ages, or the Holy Roman Empire. We were up there. The Israelites were up there. Everybody that lives in that area or is a native to Russia is not all Edomites. That's what I'm telling you. You can probably come back to one of these people, a black man. You can probably go back to him. You know, I'm telling you, that's what it is, though. I'm not just to live on your Edomite, walk down the street. No, I'd rather deal with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna run you away. I'm not these other Israelites. I'm gonna ask you, okay? But the majority of the people in Russia and Ukraine are Edomites, and Russia is also prophesied in the Bible to destroy America. You ain't know that, did you? That's why Russia has hypersonic nuclear missiles. Russia is prophesied in the Bible to destroy America. Do you know that's going to happen? During World War III, check this out. Now, Russia was once known as what? What was Russia known as? What was Russia known as? Soviet Union, right? Remember Michelle Gorbachev? Back in the 80s, I believe, or something like that. Well, Russia created nuclear missiles that can reach American soil in less than 30 minutes. That's going to happen. That's a prophecy in the Bible. It's written in Ezekiel 38, Jeremiah 51, all over the Bible. If you are a Russian, if you do go back to an Edomite, your people are going to destroy America. Hey, to me, that's good news. Because America has to be wiped off the face of the earth. Even Russia, even Putin, one day he had a choir, right? Putin had a choir, and they were singing about destroying America. I clapped. You know why? Because he's right. He's actually right. The man is right. You probably don't agree with it, but he's in his right mind. Like Putin, you know what he doesn't allow in Russia? Homosexuality. Here in America, what do you have? Homosexuality, right? In Israel, what do you have? Homosexuality, lesbianism, right? Big city Tel Aviv, right?
So you think that's why Putin going to destroy your ass? Because
It might not be under the Putin administration, but Russia is prophesied in the Bible to destroy America. Okay? They're known as Gog and Magog, even scholars. Okay, it is time to go. But Russia is called the big bad bear or the bear in the Bible. They're prophesied to destroy America in the Bible in Ezekiel 38. They don't even know how. He's coming off like an Edomite, but who knows, he might not be, but until then you're an Edomite. Until then you're an Edomite. But Russia is prophesied in the Bible to destroy America. And not only Russia, you got Russia's allies, okay, you got North Korea, you got China, you're also going to have, of course you got Iran, but you're going to have America's allies join the war, and they're going to also come, the Lord's going to put the spirit on his nations to turn on America. Right, so that's why so many nukes are being developed. A lot of these weapons are being developed for the purpose of destroying America. So we got to clap on that. We got to clap on that. Okay? That's why these wars are happening in Palestine and in Israel. Okay? Because this is all, ultimately, it's all going to lead to World War III. So we got to clap on that. Okay? Russia is prophesied in the Bible to destroy America. But anyway, let's get back to the lesson. Unbelievable, man. Deuteronomy 1:1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan. See, Moses spoke the word to Israel. It doesn't say nowhere that he spoke the word to an Elamite, to an African, to an Edomite. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel and Laban and Hazaroth and Dizahab. Deuteronomy 4 and verse 1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that he may live and go in and possess the land whither the Lord God of your fathers giveth you. So these words were given to the Israelites. And like I mentioned, nowhere in the Bible are these words given to no other race of people or nation of people but the Israelites. Right? Deuteronomy 5:1. And Moses called all Israel and said unto them, Hear, O Israel, once again, he's talking to the Israelites. Hear, O Israel. See, the Lord is very specific the way he speaks. If the Lord wanted this message to go to everybody, he would have said, Hear ye, all nations or all people, come and receive these laws. Right? The Lord, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that he may learn them and keep and do them. Right? Heathens ain't learning how to keep the law. That's why you got Moabites, they eat rat. That's why you got Australians cooking up some kangaroo. That's why Africans eat doodle burgers. Right? That's why Edomites eat raw meat, bloody raw meat. That's the way the white man likes his meat. They love that steak tartare. They love that raw bloody meat.
Yeah, I know. Like when they go into that weird tunnel, they don't know what that is.
They're in that Flintstone mentality. Jake, you're not supposed to eat these things, Jake. You're not supposed to be like the heathen. Stop following these people. Stop trying to be like them, Jake. You're an Israelite. You're not an Edomite. You're not a Cushite. You're not an Ethiopian, Jake. You're not Jewish. You're a real Jew, Jake. You're not an African, Jake. Stop trying to follow everybody else. Nah, don't worry about it. I'm good. I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'm good. No, stop trying to follow all these people, Jake. I want your fucking money. I want that shit. Fuck out of here. Other Israelites be like, oh shit, I'll take it. I want your fucking money, bitch. Fuck you. Get down the street. Walk down the street, bitch. No? So, as Israelites, we're supposed to keep a dietary law, man. We're supposed to keep everything written in this book. Like, love your neighbor. Don't steal from your brother. Don't give your brother an evil lie. Don't murder your own people. Don't murder your own brother. Don't break into his home. Don't commit adultery with his woman, Jake. But Jake don't follow the laws. They see another man with his woman, and they want to take that woman away from that man. The scriptures tell you not to cover your brother's possession, Jake. If it doesn't belong to you, don't touch it. Keep your hands to yourself, Jake. Here you go, Deuteronomy 6 now. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that he might do them in the land whither he go to possess it. That thou mightest fear the Lord thy God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged, right? So you're supposed to pass down these laws to your son, and your sons pass them down to their sons. Let me ask you this, are you an Israeli? Hey, you down the street, are you an Israeli? Yo, there's a lot of cowards out here, man. There's a lot of cowards out here. How the hell you claim to be a Jew or an Israeli but don't believe in the Bible? Something is wrong here. How the hell you could call yourself an Israeli, but all you got in Israel are a bunch of faggots? You know, I can't say a lot. It might take the video down. Right? You got Big City Tel Aviv. You got men penetrating each other up behind me, man. That's what's happening over there in Israel. Right? You got bloodshed in the land, right? You got Israelis bombing Hamas. Hamas bombing Israel. You got wars in the land. You got kosher pig in the land. You got something called kosher cigarettes. Israelites, according to the Bible, we're not supposed to smoke, Jake. Because you're defiling what? You're defiling your temple. And you know, man, look, man. We know you Jakes love smoking anything you can get your hands on. K2, whatever that shit's called. I don't even know the names of that shit. But they got some really unique names for that shit. Right? But Jake ain't supposed to smoke. You're not supposed to steal another man's woman. Right? You listen to these rap songs, you got niggas talking about, I'm gonna take your woman, son. I'm gonna take your woman, son. You're not supposed to do that. Keep your hands to yourself, Jake. Put down that, all you Puerto Ricans, put down that fentanyl. All you Dominicans, put down that fentanyl. Jake, put down that fentanyl. Put down that lobster. Right? That's what the Chinese people feed you. You go to the Chinese restaurant, you got crab, lobster, some stink, dirty-ass catfish. That shit is disgusting. Catfish is disgusting, right? You know, let me ask you this, are you Jewish?
Yeah.
You know in your land, or in that land, in your land, they eat this stuff.
I know.
They do.
Listen, not everybody.
Do you know they call pork kosher?
No.
They call it
in Israel?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Look it up. Look at this, right?
So where
Look,
are you?
Kabbalah, right? A lot of your people follow a mystical book called the Kabbalah. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. They eat kosher pig. According to the Levitical law in Leviticus 11, we're not supposed to eat
Well, it
that.
has to have split the hooves.
But they have to be clean animals. If God says don't eat it, don't touch it.
Well, the rules that why you can eat a cow and not a pig is it has split hooves. and
Well, I know that it has a
chooses
different digestive system as well.
Right, I think they
God, it's
cultivate
very
it.
easy to understand.
Yeah.
If God says don't touch, you don't touch. Right? Simple as that. But your people don't do that.
Well, my people are
You-
all
you-
different
no,
ways.
no. Who's your what's your biblical nationality?
Biblical
Let me put this down here, please. Yeah, what's your biblical
I
nationality?
want to just say, as Jews go, there are so many.
You don't mind if I put the camera on you? It's not live stream. It's for edification. Matter of fact, I won't even do this. Speak. It's not live stream. I don't care, bro. It's for edification sake to get the word out. Okay, we got it.
But the word is, if you meet two Jews and ask a question, you'll get 3 opinions. If you ask 2 rabbis, you get 3.
You're right. You know
So
why?
some
Because
will say
they're
I'm
all
disgusted that
they all
they eat
contradict each other. Now, what is the word
Because
Jew?
they
Let me ask you this: what does the word Jew mean? Yeah, what does it mean?
Yehuda,
But there's no U's in Hebrew. There's a problem here.
Yud, the letter Yud.
But there's no U's in Hebrew. That's what I'm telling you. There's no V's in Hebrew. You know the V goes back to a Wa character. The Wa character.
Well, there's a V, but not a W, like Yahweh. You're saying.
In Hebrew, there's W's. Do you know that?
Well,
There's no
like they'll
V's
say
in
you're
Hebrew.
wearing a nice
What
feather,
what
not
the
a
people in
square.
Israel speak is something called. It's something.
Going.
I'm telling you where it's going. Just to prove that those people don't belong in the land. That's where it's going. That's where it's going. Check this out. Hold on. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Listen.
Check it out.
The people in Israel speak a language called Yiddish. Do you agree?
No, they don't. They speak
No, they don't. What's Hebrew?
Wait, but just Sephardic.
Well, hold on. Reason why I mentioned, she just said no. They one at a
Don't
time.
speak Yiddish?
One at a time. Yes, but they're not Israelites. They speak Yiddish. That's what I'm telling you. The
They speak
Ashkenazi,
Hebrew.
the
I have a brother.
Ashkenazi
My brother lives
converted.
in Israel and he doesn't speak Yiddish.
They're not Israelites. Listen, because now she's trying to stop you from listening to the truth because she's hurt. Her spirit, she's hurt. She's emotionally disturbed. The people in Israel do not live there. What does the word Jew mean?
So you
She said Yahudah, but there's no Jews in the Hebrew.
What is the point you're getting to? Jews
The
don't
word
belong.
Yiddish. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah. Those people speak Yiddish. You know when Yiddish was invented? What is Yiddish? Matter of fact, what is Yiddish?
It's a pidgin language.
A language of what? A language of what?
Hebrew
You gotta do better than that. A language of
Hebrew
what?
and German.
Wait, it's a mixture of multiple languages.
Right.
Hebrew, what I speak is Paleo Hebrew. It doesn't need no other language
No,
to go with it.
You speak English.
No. I speak Hebrew.
What's
I
your
speak
point,
Paleo
though?
Hebrew.
Where are you going with all
Your
this?
people, if they speak Yiddish, that proves that they're
What's
not
the
God's
whole-
people. Because it says that the Israelites in the last days will speak the real original tongue. That's where it's going.
Are Christians
That's where it's
not?
going.
Are Christians?
What does Christian mean?
I'm asking you.
What does Christian mean?
Are they God's people?
Yes, but who are the real
the
Christians?
Jews aren't.
Who are the real Christians? They're not the real Jews. The real Jews are black Americans. That's where it's going to. See? Now Yiddish, here we go again, just like I mentioned last week. The Yiddish language was developed in the 9th century AD. Now the Paleo Hebrew, which I speak, or what scholars call the Phoenician alphabet, well, that's the Paleo Hebrew, was here way before the Yiddish language. The Israelites speak the Paleo Hebrew language, not Yiddish. Yiddish is mixed with a bunch of languages. And she mentioned the Ashkenazis. The Ashkenazis came from Italy, and they also came from the Caucasus Mountains. They're converts. The history goes back to John Hyrcanus, who converted Edomites to get circumcised, to keep dietary laws. But they're not Israelites. That's where it's going. She's asking me where it's going. How the hell are you going to say, I'm a Jew, but don't know what the word Jew means? How the hell are you going to call yourself Israelite, but don't know what the word Israelite means? She said they speak Yiddish. She just told me that. But she don't know when it was created. But the scriptures tell you, Zephaniah 3:9, that we should speak a pure language. And what's that? The Paleo-Hebrew. The Paleo-Hebrew. You're talking about we speak English. Of course we speak English. If someone conquers you, you start speaking their language. Okay? Why do you think Hispanics speak Spanish? Or so-called Hispanics or Mexicans speak Spanish? Or Guatemalans speak Spanish because they were conquered by the Spaniards. Duh. It ain't hard to see that. Well, the Israelites were conquered by who? Going back, let's see. Let's pick okay, the Israelites were conquered by the Ptolemaic Empire and the Seleucid Empire, right? Then a lot of us started speaking what? The Greek language, the Latin language. A lot of us weren't even speaking Hebrew. Then a lot of us that did speak Hebrew, we also spoke the Greek language. This is what the Bible calls Hellenistus, or the Grecians, which are Greek-speaking Jews. Hey, you gotta look, the people that live in Israel are not Israelites. Just stop. Enough with the bullshit already, man. Enough with the bullshit. Okay? Why do you think when the Spaniards, let's go back to the slave, man. You know what? Let's get this. Let's go to John. Let's go to John 19 and verse 20. This title then read many of the Jews. For the place where Yahawashi was crucified, which was in Golgotha, which means the place of the skull, was nigh to the city. And it was written in Hebrew and Greek and Latin. So Jews read on Yahawashi's on the cross, right? They read the Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. Why? Why is that? Because because the Israelites spoke the Greek language. Just like today you speak the English language. Yeah, we speak the English language. We speak the English language, but we know who we are. We know what our original tongue is. Of course we speak the English, because we were conquered by our enemies, of course. But guess what? Every alphabet goes back to the Phoenician alphabet. Challenge me on that. The Greek language goes back to the Hebrew, the Paleo-Hebrew. The Latin language goes back to the Paleo-Hebrew. Every single language, every modern language spoken today goes back to the Paleo-Hebrew. Yiddish uses certain Hebrew characters because why? They took from the Hebrew language and created their own thing. And they put a twist and a spin to it. That's why we're telling you, you're not real Jews. No, here we go. Once again, nowhere in ancient history did the Israelites call themselves Hebrew. Nowhere in our written document. Nowhere. We spoke Paleo-Hebrew. Paleo means ancient, or what we call the Rawchaa Qadash, which means holy tongue. You're not real Jews. Give up. Okay, God is going to remove you out of that land. He tells you that. You're going to go into slavery for 1,000 years. You're going to serve us, boy. You're going to serve me, boy. You're not a real Jew. Isn't a real Jew supposed to know what Jew means? Netanyahu is not a Jew. He's an Amalekite. They're all, look, ho, stop. How can I forget? Hold on. Now, once again, in the Jewish Encyclopedia of 1925, edition, volume 5, page 41, states that Edom is modern Jewry. Edom is the white man or the white race today. Those are the Edomites. The word Edom means red. Got a question?
Oh, I thought I listened to you.
Who are the people living in Israel today? If I asked you that question. It's a simple question.
I heard you say they're not, that right now there's...
According to the Bible, the real Jews are black, according to the Bible. The real Jews are black. Like Solomon, he was a Jew. He's a black man. The Bible calls Solomon a black man. The Bible also calls the Israelites black. Even in the New Testament, the word nigger is used in the New Testament of the Bible. Okay? They're called black man or nigger. That the nigger is a Latin word for black. Okay? Now, the people that live in Israel today are not Israelites. It says when the real Jews get back in the land, there is not going to be wars.
Where'd they go?
No, the real Jews, I'm a real Jew. We were scattered. God says that the Israelites are scattered. Okay? For example, one way we were scattered is, how did the blacks get to America?
Right.
Okay? Who lynched us? Right?
Well, which portion of the black population? Not
Well,
all
black,
blacks.
no, when I say black, it's really so-called black because nobody's really black.
Right.
Your jacket is black, your
Right,
beard is
right.
black to me. Now, according to bloodline, you go back to your forefathers, so you are who your father is. Now, the real Jews, according to the Bible, are dark-skinned men. Okay? It says in the curses that, let me grab one for you, if you don't mind. You don't mind, I'm not going to run you off. I'm not going to chase you off. You know, I'm not going to chase you off. Now, according to the Bible, this was a curse, right? Now, Deuteronomy is the book of the curses. Deuteronomy 28, what I'm reading now, right? It says this. So, I'll read a yoke of iron. Let me find it. Verse 40. Okay. Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he, meaning an enemy, shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. Now, you know what a yoke of iron is? Let me see if I got it on me. Hold on. Stay right there. Stay right there. Okay, bingo. I got it. Okay, here we go. That's a yoke of iron. See what he has around his neck? That's a yoke of iron. And we also have shackles. Okay? For preventing us from running away from the slave master. The Bible says, curse the seed and hangs on a tree. Who is hung on a tree? Didn't the Romans crucify who they call Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
You know the Bible calls him a black man.
Well, it makes sense they were simply a lot better.
Right, exactly. So the Bible talks about how he looked. But you know, anytime you ask someone, what was Jesus, right? They call him Middle Eastern. Now, you got to question yourself. Middle Eastern is a direction, not a nationality. Okay? Jesus, his nationality, he goes back to a tribe called Judah, the tribe of Judah, which are the blacks. Okay? Now, people say, okay, he was Middle Eastern. Well, Middle East, that term Middle East was created by the British in the 1800s. Now, around the Middle East, isn't it made up of multiple ethnicities? Okay, so right, you got Arabs there, you got the Edomites there, you got the East Indians there. Well, you know, in that area is made up of multiple ethnicities, right? But you're talking about 2,000-something years ago. He was a black man. He was crucified by the Romans. He was crucified by the Edomites, right? But the Jews, according to the Bible, are black. The Jews, according to the Bible, are black. Look what they did to us. Look what they did. They hung us on trees. They whipped our backs in. Okay? Do you know that?
You say that they.
When I say they, I'm talking about the Edomites. Like the
White
Portuguese, white people, so-called white people, because they're not white. The Bible, the term white, listen.
Yeah.
I could pull out a book from my book bag. They even tell you.
There are always those gross simplifications,
It's,
right?
right, it's to try to hide who they really are. The Bible says that they don't try to hide who they really are, according to the Bible. But the Lord gave us the information in the spirit to discern who's who. Like the Arabs, go back to Ishmael. Muhammad, all of those people, the Palestinians, go back to Ishmael. Okay? If you're a so-called white man, possibly you go back to an Edomite. That's what I'm telling you. The people living in Israel are not God's people. That's why there's so many wars in that land. They're Edomites. God says when the Jews, the real Jews, get back in the land, there will be no more wars.
You know what?
Aren't there wars in the land now?
I'm curious.
For real, aren't there wars in the land? It says that nation should not lift up sword against nation when the real Jews return. You know who sold the Jews? Like I said, the Jews are the blacks in America. Right? The Jews are the blacks in America. We were sold by the Portuguese, okay, the British, the Arabs, the Africans. Now the Africans are not the black Americans. You know that, right? The Bible, you ever heard of the Egyptians?
Yeah, I know
The pharaohs, Ramses II and all that? They come from a man named Mizraim or the Hamites. Okay? That was North Africa. It was named, that land wasn't even called Egypt until the Greeks named it Egypt. Or Ethiopia wasn't even called Ethiopia until the Greeks named it Ethiopia. Okay, that land was once called the land of Ham. The Bible talks about that. Okay, the land of Ham. Now the Africans lived in that area, right? The Africans lived in that area. All right? But the Egyptians were black people. Now, when I say black, I'm not talking about black Americans. I'm not talking about black Americans. I'm talking about the Hamites. Because God says, look, let me show you something.
I got it.
Hold on, let me show you something. Check this out. Hold on. Let me read something to you. Right? Hold on. Check this out. You see this right here? This is the Compact Bible Dictionary. This was put together by white people. Yeah. They wrote it. They said it. Okay? So you can't go back on your word, right? Check this out. No. Can't go back on your word, buddy. Check this out. From page 213. All right? From page 213. Let me see if I can find it. The book is a little damaged here. Let me see if I can find it. From page 213. All right? But the Africans are not the Negroes in America. There's a distinction.
I got it.
Here we go. Page 213. Under him, it says, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. I didn't write this. I can't make this stuff up. Right. This is not the only source.
Yeah, no, I believe it's probably many.
But not the Negroes. But listen.
My wife. I'm not leaving it for long.
But it says, are you listening, right? I'm listening. But it says, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, which are the North Africans, or Put, in the book of Genesis 10, and the Canaanites. See, just because everybody was black, like dark skin back then. Every one of Noah's sons was black, was dark. Everybody, even before the flood, and even after the flood, until a man by the name of Esau was born. That's when you started getting a white race. Okay, that's when you started. I told him that the people that live in Israel are Israelis, or they're what you call converts. You have to know their history. They took on someone's biblical identity and just ran with it. They said, I'm a Jew now. How would you feel if somebody comes into your house and takes over your home and says, I live here now, this is mine, I claim this? You'll be mad, right? You'll be mad. That's the